Honestly, I didn't walk into this show with a ton of expectations. So I didn't expect myself to come up here and say this, but if we're looking at the new anime of this season, brand new, not sequels, stuff that you're trying out for the first time, this was not a show I expected to say had a top 5 first episode debut of the season, because this season's incredible. Amazing heavy hitters coming back with seasons. Great new entry, bold new entries. And I think on paper, I can break down a lot of what this first episode did and said, oh, this kind of reminds me of this, or this, or this. But the execution of, honestly, the best way to sum this episode up, it's almost like Spy Classroom, if it was done a lot better, but with, Demon School Iruma-kun personality vibes, outside of, the big brother, because that's basically Yuri from Spy Family, if we're being honest, mixed in with, some character designs that feel like it's similar to Assassination Classroom. You jam it together in this very chaotic family of spies, and the overall execution of the wackiness, it's a type of vibe that you used to see a lot of in the early 2000s, and I think that's part of the reason why I really gravitated towards Demon School Iruma-kun, is there was something about the overall vibe of that show that was just different, and honestly had an older feel but done in a more modernized style. And honestly, the idea of a kid with this anxiety to grow close to people because of a tragic event that took his family from him at a young age, and the idea of his childhood friend always being there, turns out childhood friend for over 10 years kept a secret she's a part of this big spy family, and there's a big bro in this situation who basically wants to kill and has killed anyone who gets too close, and the only way that our boy was going to be protected is if he marries her. Marriage is basically, hey, if he has one half of this ring, then he can't touch. It's a rule of the family. And this show is going to be 27 episodes straight. This is a free run level episode count. You don't drop that many episodes unless the story and characterization is going to go hard. But even then, I walked in thinking it was going to be the most bare minimum average show. But I had a few people say, Brandon, please try this one. So I was like, I'll give it an episode, I'll try it. And very quickly, the production is just fun, it's colorful, the character designs are very honestly, if you take the main two, who are now, I guess, quote-unquote married, and put them in Assassination Classroom, I don't think they're gonna feel out of place. You have some character wearing a bucket with the face of goddamn Plank from Ed, Ed, and Eddie, who can Hulk smash their arm into this giant monstrosity. Some dude lives in a garbage can with Dr. Octopus level mechanical arms. You have a character who I think is from ReZero but just is all white for some reason, and a Syscon big bro who apparently is the #1 spy. What did I just sign myself up for? I have no idea, but I never expected to say this was a top 5 of the season in terms of new entries. And in case people want to know what my top 5 is, it's probably Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, then probably Train to the End of the World, maybe Windbreaker, followed by Go-Go Loser Ranger, and then this. Those are the 5 new shows. Obviously, you know how much I like Slime and Mushoku Tensei, how much I like Demon Slayer, but, I don't like to add those into a list because it doesn't really feel fair given the fact that, well, you already know you're gonna like them if you've already seen the previous stuff. So for me, yeah, I wasn't expecting to like this one, and honestly, I think a lot of people, if they give it an honest shot, are gonna be pleasantly surprised by how fun and honestly a little bit of fresh takes on, because you do get spy stuff, hell, recently we had Spy Classroom, and as someone who liked the second core a lot more than the first, I will admit that was a pretty okay show. Even though there was some good aspects about it, it's not something you're gonna write home about. This, I could see myself writing home about if it continues on this trend. Now, of course, I have a full live reaction to this week's episode over on my Patreon. If you want to see my full and thoughts to this or any of the future episodes, they're gonna be over there if you're interested. I'm hoping this will be a good one for the channel, but I have no idea, because I think this is also a Hulu Disney show, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Yo ho ho, Pirate's Life for me, wink wink nudge nudge. If this one does well enough, because Demon Slayer eventually is going to be airing on a Sunday in a month. If this show isn't doing well, this will become a Patreon exclusive. I'll be 100% honest. I would like to do this alongside the other 3 shows that I'm planning to do on Sunday. So if you do want more videos on this show, you gotta show me the support, because I don't think this show is gonna do that well discussion-wise. I haven't really seen many people even talk about it on Reddit, but I actually think it's a very well-produced show, and honestly, the animation goes in harder than you expect. I don't know if people will agree with it, but to me, it does kind of remind me of Assassination Classroom meets Iruma-kun. That's really the best vibe. The action feels like something, well, yes, maybe Assassination Classroom didn't have the normal human kids Hulk smashing their way in that way. But I don't know, there's something about the overall movements of the characters, the looks of the characters, do kind of give me that ass class vibe. But in general, the actual personalities and interactions are like, oh, this is kind of like a vibe of just chaotic energy that I loved from Iruma-kun, but applied to this really cool spy setting. Obviously, we haven't jumped into big missions yet. That's obviously going to come in time, especially now that we're married into the family. But either way, there's a lot of potential. The personalities we got introduced to were really fun. I mean, the idea that... it's kind of a brilliant bait and switch. The dude sits you down and shows you all these pictures of the main girl. And I'm like, I was like, oh, where's Chris Hansen when you need him? I was like, this better be his daughter. And I don't know if it's better or worse that he's, you know, this is his little sister. It was creepy nonetheless. Like, the dude was a wild card. And then he shows you a picture of some kid he killed. And I'm like, oh, that is not what I was signing up for, but boy, are you way more interesting now. The general family, immediately very apologetic. Our bro, amazing at what he does, but he's a psychopath. They have a goddamn alarm for when he comes home. That's how crazy he is. You have dude in a garbage can, person with helmet with no eyesight, mixing concoctions that are probably gonna blow up the damn house, so I don't know how safe that is. Just in general, it was pure chaotic. But I love the fact that with the whole ring scene, it's actually pretty emotional and well written. So initially it's like, hey, this is the way to save you. Take the ring, he won't touch it because of the rules. Girl stands up, says, hey, Taio, he has a hard time connecting with people. Understandable, went through a lot of trauma. Forcing him into like this eccentric family would absolutely be torture. Very appreciative, but the fact that as the brother's like, listen, I'll leave him alone, but you can't go outside anymore. Dude's a scumbag. Like, I don't like him on a personality level, but without him, this show clearly would be a lot more boring, so I'm glad he's a part of it. The idea that, you know, you toss the ring, and obviously the wires are stopping him. With pure determination, this man could have cut his entire hand off, grabs that thing, and just pure rage. I love that. It's so passionate, it's so great, and the fact that he chose this, it shows his heart's opening up slowly but surely. Like, I think a lot of what the episode does on paper, if you take it apart piece by piece, you say, oh, that just sounds like this anime or this anime. But in general, really well produced, Silver Link, 27 episodes. Obviously, that's a lot of episodes to go back to back. Can they keep up the quality? Character designs are pretty simple, but they're colorful, so probably. And the animation does go hard in those action scenes, seemingly. But, you know, I do got faith in this one. Maybe it won't be for everyone. Maybe most people watch it and they say, I don't see what's so fun. But I wasn't expecting to call this a top 5 of the season in terms of new entries. But I'm calling it a top 5 for at least the first episode. This has my interest. This has my intrigue. I'm ready for episode 2, but let me know what you thought down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on my Patreon. Hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Ollie Best, Misaki Army, Lala, Avery Fooch, Dragon Supremer, and JD. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Have a good one.